Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, StrangeNet here. So I was going to do a Winter Nexus, how much I've made, comparison. However, CCP have off-footed me by dropping a dev blog today. And it is what we can expect in 2013, so I thought I would cover this before potentially doing the Winter Nexus stuff. So we have this wonderful little graphic here, and in the first quarter apparently we can look forward to direct enlistment for faction warfare without having to leave your corporation and alliance. I'm imagining that is going to be well received for people that aren't currently in faction warfare. However, it will be interesting to see how this changes the dynamic of faction warfare itself, with some of the larger alliances weighing in, I imagine, a little bit more heavily than they have been. So obviously there is a decent amount of is to be made with loyalty points within faction warfare, so I look forward to seeing how that pans out and whether this is a good idea or not. Now, I like the idea in general, it's just I don't know how it's going to affect faction warfare. I would like to join in faction warfare, however I don't currently want to leave my corp and be bouncing around to find out that, I could join with an alt, but I don't really want to, so it is keeping me out of it. But then again, do you want a lot of the larger alliances wading in to what is potentially not quite as niche as it was, but some interesting dynamics without huge blobs turning up? So watch this space. I look forward to seeing how that pans out and how they're going to do it, and what rewards and risks are going to be there for corporations and alliances that do get into faction warfare. So next we got the factional campaign, assist your empire in developing new transportation technology in a special event. Not really my thing. I know obviously there are people that enjoy this, so all power to you. I hope you do enjoy another Stargate or something to fight over to try and build. Do we need more Stargates to different places? I'm indifferent, but again, something for people to get involved in that like the roleplay aspect of EVE. Then we've got Lunar New Year celebrations and Chinese localization, getting more people potentially onto Tranquility by making the client a little bit more friendly to Chinese speaking people. And then we have XL for EVE. Good, yes, potentially a lot of people use XL. XL is very handy, yada yada yada. The fact that it's coming in the first quarter, it was announced at FanFest, it's been a long time in coming. Yeah, first quarter could potentially, yes, first 3 months, so it could almost be a year since this was announced. So yes, it's coming. No, I think it should have been waited upon before announcing it at FanFest, but hey, I guess they had to give us something. I'm being too down on that. Second quarter, EVE expansion, doesn't really go into any details, but an expansion is an expansion, so I imagine once the first quarter is done, we'll get a little bit more details on what potentially that might be. Then obviously in May, we've got 20 years of EVE celebrations. EVE is not dying at present, so let's hope it manages to make it to its 20th birthday. Third quarter, FanFest celebration, celebrating 20 years of EVE. And then obviously we've got the Alliance Tournament. Quarter 3 seems a little sparse. I'd like to see something else in there, to be perfectly honest, but I guess it's just the way that they're doing it. And then obviously in the fourth quarter we've got another expansion to look forward to, so every 6 months. And then obviously the Halloween Horrors and the Winter Nexus, which we have just enjoyed. Now I will link this in the description of the video, so you can go and look through it at your own pace. I'm not going to go into it too heavily, but just a few things I would like to cover. So this just goes into the fact that there's been a sharp increase in PvP kills in LowSec. Who knew that if you delivered an expansion specifically for LowSec that people would die more in LowSec and that you get more people into LowSec? Watch this space. Anyway, wow, huge increase in Navy ships, which is good. Yeah, all production's good. As an industrialist myself, I do like to see, obviously, things being blown up, more things to build, and more opportunities. Uprising 20th anniversary. We want to get the moment to reflect on the last year. Last year, reflecting on. I think CCP has needed to take a bit of a look at themselves, really, and decide the direction that they want EVE to go in. And have they failed? I don't think they've failed as such. EVE is generally down on where it has been, but it's up from its lowest point. So they are going in the right direction, but I think a little bit more reflecting on what people want. I think you've got three main player bases to look at. You've got what people want when they first join EVE, what people want when they've been here for maybe a year or two, and we did see the numbers back in FanFest, and anybody over 2 years there isn't a lot of people stay beyond the 2-year mark, so I think a little bit of work needs to be done into that, and that is to give people goals, etc. And then you need things for veteran players to do, to strive towards, and you know, it's a sandbox, you can make up your own things, but again, you still need things to train towards, and I'll do that in a separate video, I think. But again, I think there's three main areas that you need to focus on. You need to get people in, you need to keep them, you need to keep them for the medium term, and then you need to give veteran people something to aim towards, and not necessarily just bigger, badder ships. There needs to be more goals. Anyway, rant for a different time, I'm sure. Mentioning Uprising, overhaul, faction warfare. Good as far as I'm concerned. It's got more people fighting, blowing things up, and faction warfare used to be a big favourite of mine. I've not done it for a good while. I dabble in it every now and then, but all in all, I've stayed away from it for one reason or another. So glad to see it's back. Glad to see people are enjoying it. And again, this is, you know, the whole EVE is such a big place. There's things that you can do, and it's good to see that they've taken on board what people have actually been asking for years and finally implemented it. And again, you know, they're getting their reward for that. They've given players what they want, and more people are joining faction warfare, fighting it out, coming back to the game, yada yada yada. So good all round. Bringing more players into the fold, again, something that we've just covered up there. You know, it's okay getting people in, and again, pushing them into PvP. Is that always great? I think, you know, depends what you want from a game. I enjoyed the PvP aspect when I first started EVE. It was pretty much all I focused on. However, you need ways of making ISK to be able to fund that. So again, there's a balance that needs to be struck, and having 800 alts isn't really the direction that I think is the best way to go, however. Issue facing lead funding organisations. Now this is a big one, and this is one I'm going to but I want to have a look in it a little bit more depth as such, just because a lot of people have. I don't know what it's like to run Alliance, I'm not going to lie. I've never really ran Alliance. I've been involved in kind of running an Alliance, but again, this was many years ago, and things have moved drastically forward technology wise since then. So basically it summarises that they want ways of basically taxing people, or to make it easier for alliances, corporations, in order to be able to give back to their members. But in order to give back, you need to be able to take, and again, taxes, yada yada yada. So the interface that you have to work with if you are a CEO of a corporation is pretty awful. You've got all these little tabs across the top, and standing things to work out, wars and assets. And again, if you're doing members, you've got title management to sort out, you've got auditing, auto removal. Interesting, that must be new. Again, it's just, and then you've got the general, you've got station services, accounting, hangars, and then roles. You've got grantable summary roles, and then you've got, oh dear, it's an absolute minefield. And again, it's just always feels like you're about to trip up and give something or somebody access to something they really shouldn't be having access to. So, you know, just to get, it's just like, right, I want to give this, And once you've set it up, it's a bit easier. You can assign a certain person to, you can name it whatever you want. And therefore, if anybody that's just joined the corp, you can give them access to whatever it is you want to give them access to. But the point is, it's pretty horrific to try and work around, and I imagine it's not been worked on a huge amount because the people that are CEOs and running the corps are lesser than the people actually joining them for obvious reasons. But again, it's an interface that really needs a good overhaul. And again, it would be a good time to then implement different ways of taxing, because so there we go, to talk about friendship and obviously being at war with people, getting more players involved is incredibly important, especially in fleets. EVE is best when played with friends. Can't disagree necessarily. So again, establish a strong social network to foster powerful bonds as we build towards delivering the future of the war of New Eden. Sounds like a sales pitch if I've ever heard one. So the future of EVE evolved. The uprising expansion immersion has been elevated to greater heights. Whether you like it or not is one's personal opinion. Warhangers to marvel at your achievements, yada yada yada. Uprising and beyond. Over the last couple of years, we have carried out important foundational work that enables us to build Uprising. Our first expansion since 2018, and that in itself is I wouldn't be highlighting that necessarily. We aim to continue releasing expansions of this caliber going forward with additional updates, more shiny toys, always good, and riveting world events like the Stellar Transmitter incident between. So what I like to see is, I do like to see a roadmap. I think it's good that they've got back to this. It gets people excited and it gives you something to look forward to, because again, I have ebbs and flows. I play different games. I'm currently playing Warhammer Total 3. I'm playing Factorio. I'm playing a whole host of games at the moment. And, it's EVE is my main game that I it's not even probably, I've put most hours in, but it's one that I always gravitate back to, but it's not always one that I constantly play. So, not a great deal that excites me for Q1, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be here for Q1. But obviously the excitement starts to build knowing that there is something coming in Q2, and that I will be waiting with bated breath, but I will be waiting for this obviously to drop and to see what's going to come with it, and the excitement that comes with that, something new things to build, new things to shoot, new things to do, whether it's just a redoing of the arcs of the mission arcs, or whether it's just missions, or whether again we've discussed this prior in previous videos, but I would like to see some PvE that needs a good, not a big group of people, because you get nullsec where you're assaulting the Satoyos or whatever it is, and you've got you need a lot of people in order to do it, or you need some huge ships. And the Abyss sites where it's up to 3 max, well, people can quite easily multi-box 3 ships. I'd like to see something with like 6 or 7. I know you've got the incursions, and again they're generally a great success. People love doing the incursions. It's in a group, so I'd like to see something a little bit smaller than the nullsec things that go on, and bigger than the abyssal sites, just to get more people involved. And whether that just happens to be 3 people triple boxing ships or whatnot, but again, it's just, there is absolutely zero point in doing level 4 missions with anybody else, because it's actually detrimental pretty much to do it with someone else. So I'd like to see some kind of push to get people playing together. And again, the more you get people interacting, as we've said, the more chance you'll get them out PvPing as well together, because people make bonds. They enjoy flying with these people, and it's like, well, hell, we've been missioning for X amount of money. Who wants to go blow up some ships? And then it goes from there. So, but again, if you're in high sec and you're not in a corp and you're just grinding missions because you want ISK, or because you do it, give us an incentive to actually get together, other than just being nullsec or the current things that are there, just to encourage more people to enjoy the social bonds of EVE and to become more invested in general. So I think that's my my video for today. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I will link it in the description. I will be dropping some more videos over the next few days. One of them, says I will probably be the Winter Nexus, and I've got a few others lined up that I'm thinking about at the moment. So watch this space, subscribe if you haven't, drop a like, drop a comment, say hi, whatever. Drop into the StrangeNet in-game channel if you want to come say hi to us in-game. So with that, thanks for your time, thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again soon.